The meeting between the South African Human Rights Commission and, of course, the management of the Cornwall Hill College right here in Irene took place online. The meeting took place for around about an hour, according to the commission, and several issues were discussed. And to take me through some of the details of that particular meeting, I'm now joined by of course, Gauteng manager for the Human Rights Commission, and that is Mr. Buang Jones, who will take us through many of the details. Thank you so much for joining us. You've driven all the way from Johannesburg to come and do this interview with us. But take us through this important meeting. And it's really, I think encouraging to see how quickly the Human Rights Commission acted and trying to help, in particular, the parents that are saying that, but, they're tired of the separate rules and the acts of continued discrimination that, of course, are plaguing their children at the school. Take us through the details of the meeting.
Well, firstly, we're taken aback by what happened on Monday, as we all watched on SABC, as events were unfolding at the school. We then decided to initiate our own investigation and immediately requested a meeting with the school management. And the meeting was held today. We had an hour-long meeting. It was very constructive. In the meeting, we informed the school that the commission had initiated its own investigation into the matter. Our approach to this matter is very holistic, in that whilst we will be interviewing learners, teachers, parents, and the school management and the board, will also be reviewing the policies of the school's code of conduct. Will also be assisting the school with their own advocacy interventions to ensure that in those interventions they mainstream human rights and they mainstream social cohesion principles.
The meeting with the school management, in your own personal views, did you get the feeling that they are committed to actually finding solutions that would be in the interest of everybody here?
Well, it was a constructive interaction. It is a bit premature to say if there are commitment, but they did make an undertaking that they will cooperate with the investigations of the commission. And of course, when you don't cooperate with our investigations, we can always utilize our subpoena powers. But we hope that we will not have to resort to the use of our subpoena powers in order to compel the submission of any information or the attendance of witnesses to our investigative processes.
Take us through the investigative processes. Normally with allegations such as these that involve schools, of course, it's not the first time that we see this playing out in the public domain, especially when it comes to private schools. Over the years, we've seen so many such allegations coming to the fore. What's the steps that the Human Rights Commission will be embarking on to make sure that there is proper and effective intervention at the school?
We have determined that in order to fully assess this matter, there is an urgent need to meet with the parents. And we are hopeful that through the facilitation of the school, they will allow us to use their facilities in order to convene a meeting with the parents of the learners at the school. We are then going to request permission from the parents to interview the learners. We'll also, after reviewing information gleaned from our discussions and interviews with the learners, then conduct interviews with the teachers, with the school management, and with the board of the school. Once you have all this information, the commission will then conduct an assessment and a final analysis as to whether or not any one or more of the rights listed in the Bill of Rights were violated, and who is responsible, and what sort of remedial action should be undertaken by the school and by other role players, which includes the Department of Education. I think over the years, our priority has always been to embed a culture of human rights in public schools. But we have felt that it is important to also broaden the scope of our interventions to include private schools, because the Bill of Rights applies to private schools. It applies to non-state actors, not just state actors. So we'll also be engaging with SAHRC, which is which manages independent schools in the country as part of our investigation.
Apart from the action that received great media coverage on Monday, has the Human Rights Commission received any other formal complaints from the parents, from the learners at the school?
We have not received any formal complaints from anyone at the school, but our constitutional mandate requires us to also act in the public interest. This matter was in the public domain. It implicates a number of rights, and our overriding concern is the rights of children. Their best interests are paramount in any matter, and that is why we are getting involved, and that is why we are calling on the parents to also come forward with any information that may assist us with the investigation. To also, we'll also be seeking their permission to interview the learners so that they can recount their experiences, so that we have a clear factual account of what has happened and what needs to be done going forward.